What is happening, Blades? What is happening? And welcome back to the Blades Ramble. I am Jimmy. We are sponsored by Action Coach Sheffield. Thank you to them for their support. We've won. We've won a game of football. I can't believe it. And deservedly so as well. Absolutely unreal. I'm buzzing, absolutely buzzing about it. And if you look at the table now, we're only 2 points off safety. Who would have thought it? It's never been that much of a gap to bridge, but it just, because it were going so wrong every week, it just felt so painful. So painful, not just to watch, but to be a part of. It would just, anyway, listen, you come here to be able to give your honest opinions, to hear my honest opinions, and I'm going to give that today because it wasn't all sunshine and roses all game for me. I thought, well, just being frank about it, let's get these negatives out of the way first. I thought what is happening to me? Wes and his distribution was all over the place today. I didn't like the tactics of lumping it high. We've talked about this so many times. We've probably got the shortest attack in the league with Cameron Archer and Ryan Brewster, and we're just lumping the balls high. And Kilman and Dawson are just nodding them away. It were just routine stuff for him, and I didn't like it. I think some of his saves that he made were decent, but I think they're expected. I've still got a lot of question marks over Wes, if I'm honest. I didn't think Brewster were up to much today. I have to say, I didn't think he overly impressed. I think there's a lot of effort there, but in terms of impacting the game, I'm not so sure he can. Vinny Souza and Jaden Bogle at times I thought were hot and cold. I think Bogle particularly was poor in some touches and some phases, but also was sort of more intensely on the scale of than Vinny Souza in terms of when he did something real good, it was really good. Like there were a run where he sort of took the ball from McAtee, I think it was at one stage, got to the byline and crossed it. It was fantastic. It was really good. So I thought in pockets he was good, but as I say, a bit hot and cold. Souza probably less of an extreme of the scale where it was quite poor in phases, but very good in phases. I thought the first half was terrible. I thought both teams were poor first half, and it didn't look like anything were going to change. It wasn't, it was same old United, but I mean, obviously that changed second half, which we'll come on to. But just while we're trying to box off these early sort of, I don't want to say negative, but sort of on the other end of it, my stance on Eki has not changed after this game. And listen, I'm delighted for him tonight as much as I am delighted for us, delighted for the team, delighted for the players. But things like McAtee coming on and changing the game, he was forced into that change because Brewster went down injured. It wasn't a proactive change. Yes, he could have done it like for like in terms of bringing on Traore or Asula, then it's striker for striker. But McAtee was the obvious change. It wasn't an innovative change that let's completely change the play. It was forced because of the injury to Brewster. So, I mean, I'll come on to McAtee because I thought he was the one that changed the game. Our players are still going down with cramp and innocuous injuries. Obviously, Brewster was the one that stood out, but on 70 minutes, we've got Gus Hamer going down with cramp. We've got Austin Trusty going down with cramp. What is going on there? What is going on with our players' fitness levels? So they are the few. There's a fair bit there, but they're the negatives I took out of today's game, which wasn't a perfect game by any means. However, having said that, now we can park all that because there's so much positive to take out of today as well. I thought Austin Trusty was very good at the back. I think when they switched it at half-time and put Robinson in the middle of the three, that was even better because I thought Robinson were outstanding today, I have to say. I've never been a huge Robbo fan, as we all know, and I hope to God he doesn't watch the Ramble because obviously I don't want him chasing me down. But I thought he were outstanding, really, really good. Luke Thomas, I thought he started quite rocky and grew into the game, got better and better as it went on. George Baldock epitomises everything I love about Sheffield United and a Sheffield United player. It's exactly what I want to see. He's everything I want in a player, and he's my captain, really. And listen, I know we're going to come on to Norwood as well in a bit, but George Baldock, I think he actually got the man of the match, which I'm not surprised at. Playing right centre-back, which a lot of us have called for previously. I know he's not typically the size of a right centre-back, but he's technically gifted enough to carry it off, and he proved that today. I still think when everybody's fit and Nell comes back in at right centre-back and George is our best right wing-back, but I think as a standing right centre-half, he proved today how well he can adapt to that. And maybe that, as he gets a little bit older and isn't able to get up and down the wing like he does currently, I think that may be a position that prolongs his career a little bit. Gus Emer never stopped running. I think that was probably one of his better performances in a United shirt. I was really pleased with Gus Emer today. Looked just like the player we signed. James McAtee came on and changed the whole game. He looked like he had a point to prove. We know he's got that in his locker. He's not being consistent with it either. We haven't seen a hugely consistent run, but it reminded me of when he'd been bombed out after Luton. He clearly doesn't like being left on the bench, and he came on today and proved why he should be in the 11. Now, whether you think that he needs that chip on his shoulder, maybe he sometimes needs a little bit of, not an ego sort of chip, but he knows how good he is. And to be left out of a side that's not won in 10 games, he'll feel like he can make a difference. And he certainly did that when he came on. I thought it was superb. Do not sleep on Cameron Archer. Cameron Archer will score goals, even at this level. And he's proven it again today. Look, I didn't think I think for the past few games he's been off the boil a little bit, but we are not playing to his strengths. And you see that when he sits on the shoulder of the last man, like we've talked about so often, when he's on the last man, and it broke quite luckily for him today to go through on goal, and I understand that, but it was on the shoulder of the last man. So it were a straight sprint, and I thought he was going to get caught, if I'm honest, but it were a straight sprint, and he won it. And what a finish it was for Cameron Archer. I think we play to his strengths. He will score goals in this side. I've no doubt about it. No doubt about it. And that brings me on to Mr. Controversy himself. And I say that because he splits opinion more than most. Him and both Ollies, I think, are the Sheffield United opinion splitters, if I'm honest. So there's obviously Ollie McBurney, who some love, some hate. Everybody's got an opinion on Ollie McBurney, who's obviously out injured at the minute. one of the many. But Ollie Norwood, and I know he splits opinion, I think a lot will say he's one of the best players to ever play for us. A lot of us will also say he's poor, he's not up to it at this level anymore. And I can fall on either side, depending on what side of bed I get up, to be honest. And that's me just being honest. But I think today, I thought it was poor for a little bit of the game. And Rob, I think, has sort of called me out on that. Rob, who I get on quite well with, but sort of laughing at that assumption. Well, that's my opinion, pal. That's what I think. I thought it was poor for the majority of the game, giving away possession quite easily. I know a lot of us around where I sit were having a little bit of a moan and groan every time he were in possession and gave it away, which is a typical Norwood thing to do, unfortunately. But what you have to say about him, and if you say that you weren't groaning when he stood up to take that penalty, I don't believe you. Everybody, to a man that I was around, was like, "Oh no, please let Arch take it. Please let Arch take it." Vinny Souza got up and held the ball, and we're thinking, is Vinny Souza going to take the pen? Then Norwood steps up, and we're all like, "Oh my God, please no!" He's missed so many penalties in the past. Pressure situations are not the one. But he's wearing captain's armband, and we're with another lad today who came with us. And in hindsight, he'd said, "Well, you can't let somebody like Cam Archer take that penalty, because if it don't go in, he's a young lad, and then people aren't talking about the goal he scored, which were a fantastic goal. They're talking about Cam Archer missing the penalty in the 90th minute, and it's tough for him to take on his shoulders." So to be fair to Ollie Norwood, when you look at it that way, he was willing to take the brunt of the pressure on his own shoulders, not just the pressure in the moment, but the pressure that came with missing, because he's been there before. And I think fair play, absolute fair play to Norwood. He stepped up and he smashed it in, last kick of the game. What a feeling that was. And start playing Eki and Stuart McCall, and everybody's singing along a little bit awkwardly, I think, because obviously there's been a few of us that have been, what I don't want to come across as a hypocrite. So I was mutely and sort of quietly joining in with it, because I want him to do well. This is what I don't want people to get misconstrued. I want Eki to do well. Because if he does well, Sheffield United are doing well. And that's all we care about. I don't think he's the man to lead us forward. However, you have to enjoy the moments like this. So for those that think I'm plotting his demise and I want him to do poorly so we get a new manager in, it couldn't be further from the truth. I would love Eki to be in charge this time next season because it'll mean that we've either gone down fighting or we've actually escaped the drop zone, which is exactly what we're trying to do. So it's whoever can do the best job for Sheffield United. But by the same token, I don't want people to think I'm flaky but with one result. So I'm walking a fine line here with people thinking I'm potentially being negative on a brilliant day for the club. But it's one result, isn't it? So I'm going to jump into some of your comments now because I appreciate I've rambled for a little bit. But it's what a result. What a result that is. Rich says, evening, Jimmy, a win at last. Hope you had a drink from it. I certainly did, pal. I certainly did. I saw Nick before the game in Triple Point, and he was having a drink for everybody, it has to be said. I think he's having a very good night tonight. So fair play to you, Nick. Hope you're still going, pal. Evening, James said it all along. Baldock should be right centre back. He absolutely bossed it. Where's all the Eki out people now? I'm here, mate. I'm here, and I get what you're saying, Ollie. I get what you're saying. It's not a night to be divisive. What I will, and I'm going to keep to my principles, but I'm not going to be, oh, well, it's one result, blah, blah. I'm going to enjoy it because I've enjoyed today. It's been absolutely brilliant in terms of getting that result. So, yes, my feelings are still the same, but I'm certainly not going to be pushing that agenda tonight. Well, there you go. Who'd have thunk it, says Wayne. Good to see you all early. You too, pal. Nice to see you, pal. Yeah, a bit of that fight is back. That was right. That fighting spirit. When it looked like we believed today, didn't it? Which it's been so missing. There's talent in this squad. I know people are sort of, we're not good enough. We're not good enough. I'll keep banging the drum. I think our best 11 is definitely good enough. I know that wasn't our best 11. Just feels great. It does, mate. McAtee, yes, please. What a player. Thanks, me, myself, and Ndai. Oh, it's hammer time now, isn't it? Jimmy, evening, Jimmy. Best part was the players' reaction at the final whistle. Yeah, it was. It meant as much to them as it did to us. George Baldock came right over to us, and he wound it up anyway. Yeah, love it. George Baldock is brilliant. Bry, what we've been asking for: grit, determination, and run for 90 minutes. A very good second half performance. Relief all round. Something to build on and some confidence. Good to see you, pal, and you too, mate. I saw a few lads in Triple Point. It were great to see you. Man Mountain says McAtee will grow following that. I hope so, pal, because it seems like a turning point performance for him, doesn't it? He changed the match today. That second half, we ran him over and fully deserved our win. I completely agree. I accept that effort every week. Backing it, Blades. Absolutely right. Joe says, up the Blades. Baldock captain has to be. Finally showed some proper passion. We have to kick on and pick up some more points. Agree, Joe. In terms of Baldock as captain, I would always have had Baldock as captain, as you know. I'm well on that train. But I think what Norwood did today was taking the responsibility of being a captain. And I think listen, I'm always quite quick to criticise Norwood, to be honest. But I don't think you can. For that call he made today, fair play to him. Mr. V, we desperately needed this win, and despite the first half performance, the boys never gave up 100%, and that's all we asked for. We finally celebrate a victory. We can finally celebrate a victory. No, Paymer and Brewster are okay. Yeah, I know. Can you imagine? Despite being over the moon with 3 points, once again, we're giving up goals in the dying minutes of games, and it's got to stop. We lost so many points this season in the final few minutes. Absolutely. That's that reality check from Mr. V. Oh, my God, your star boy and your bench warmer scored today. Still not convinced with Norwood, but did the business when it mattered. Kev, brilliantly summed up. You're right. And he is my star boy, Cam Archer. He is top man. Oh, dearie me. Tim says, there's a blade in Nottingham. I have people I don't know coming up to me in the pub and shaking my hand. That's good. I love that. Love that sort of stuff. We actually won, says Andy. Absolutely right, pal. Unbelievable, isn't it? I thought the highlight of my day was going to be when you walked past me about 20 minutes before the game. Oops. Did I show? Well, I'm not laughing. It's certainly not the highlight of your day, to be honest. But if I'm walking past you and you want to say hello, just grab me and say hello. Loads of people did. Do you know what? One thing while Joe's just mentioned that, obviously, and I'm not going to dwell on this particularly on today's stream, but I've had a lot of negativity for the first time online about some of my opinions and things like that. And people trying to accuse me of spinning an agenda and only giving a strong opinion for clicks and all this sort of thing. Well, those people clearly haven't been watching me because that's what I've always done. And I wouldn't, the last thing I ever want to be seen as is fake or not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. But having said all that, for the handful of people, and that's all it is, that I've had to block online because of their sort of negativity, if you like, for want of a better phrase, the amount of people that came up to me today and were so nice and so just, cannot thank you enough for stuff like that. When you're saying hello to me, and it's not because I'm being recognized, it's because people are giving me positive feedback that I read all the positive comments, which is lovely. But it smacked me in the face a little bit today when everybody I'm seeing is laughing and this is before game. This is before we knew what were going to come. But it's just like, hey, oh, Jimmy, how's it going? What do you think it's going to be today? And do you know, it's just, it reaffirms that for all the crap that you get online, that they are absolutely a vocal minority. And what we're doing here by sharing this space and having our own opinions and stuff and sort of having a bit of a platform to all vent together, it just makes it a more, I don't know, it's a real positive place to be. And that's exactly what I want for it. So yeah, if I'm walking past you, Joe, and you want to say hello, mate, just, you never bother with me, anything like that. I love to meet new people, and I've met a load of great people, a load of great friends through this. Happy chappy, hope you're happier tonight, pal. We won, but I still don't think Eki is up to it. Some of his sub and tactical decisions are baffling. These next 4 games make or break our season, and I personally can't see us picking up another win. Interesting. I'm not going to say I disagree. Craig, thank you, friend. Thank you, my boy. You don't have to do that, and you know you don't, because we've spoken about this before. But I really do appreciate it. Thank you, pal. If you want to say or you want to plug or anything, I'm more than happy to do that. Lee, it took long enough, but it was deserved and feels amazing. It does, mate. It does. Bournemouth and Burnley doing our goal difference wonders. Yeah, Bournemouth getting stuffed 6-1, and Burnley are awful. I've said it for a while, and people think I'm just doing it, and there is a little bit of burger bashing going on. But yeah, couldn't happen to a nicer team. First half we played okay. Second half was best we played this season. I thought we were poor in first half, Jack, but I wouldn't disagree in terms of second half being up there with best we've played this season. Absolutely. McAtee, come on, it just changes the game. It did, mate. Yes, great result, Jimmy. Your boy Archer did it. I know. I'm still standing there. Listen, we're having a few poor touches during game, and I'm saying, Cam, I'm shouting from the sideline because he's only about 5 feet away from me. My reputation relies on this. He's dependent on this. It was ridiculous because obviously he don't know what I'm talking about. He probably didn't even hear me. But I know a couple of lads who watches and they're a part of this, sort of turning around and laughing because they know exactly what I'm on about. It's balmy, absolutely balmy. And then he goes and does that, doesn't he? Top boy. Blade for life. Absolutely right, pal. Bogle was terrible, says Chip Butty. I don't think he was terrible. I think he had patches where he were really poor. Not really poor. That's probably pushing it a little bit. Well, yeah, to be fair, he was, caught out. But then also I thought he was very good in certain pockets as well. Brewster coming off, got us the win. He really is hopeless, says Connor. It's harsh on Brewster. Everybody I know, because we all think he's such a nice kid. We all want him to do really well. It's just not happening for him, is it, with that injury? There were one point in first half, and my dad said it more or less the same time as I was saying it. He was supposed to be chasing down and pressing his man, and he looked like he was hesitant to sprint. And that'll be Hammy playing on his mind. And it's obviously proven right because he went down with it again. Evening, Kieran. Sorry, just joined. Listen a bit before commenting. Okay, pal, no worries, mate. Whatever you want to do, that's absolutely fine. Evening, sir. Mine's a double. About time we got the rub of the green. We did get it today, didn't we? We did get it. Chip, but he says McAtee changed the game. He certainly did, pal. McAtee change was planned at half-time. Jimmy was not forced. Was it? Have you spoken to Eki about that, Scott? Is that something Eki said? I don't know, mate. I don't know if that's come out or... But stuff like that, though, planned for half-time, does that mean pre-match? I don't like stuff like that. I'm not a fan. I don't think that's innovation. I don't think that's being able to change due to the flow of the game. What if we'd have been 2-0 up? Would he still have brought Brewster off and McAtee on? just don't work for me like that. He still has to go, especially these next few games, are key to our season, and I don't see Eki doing anything different than what he's done today. I think Eki still, obviously, now he'll get Brighton. But I think if we lose at Brighton, there's a chance he goes. Because it's 3 points from the 4 games that we all knew were crucial. And maybe Wolves were the only one that we could have expected to get anything out of, but you have to take into account the results before that as well, don't you? With his Popperdam hams, we gave the ball away too many times, had a bit of luck. Hamer, worst player for me. Worst player? Listen, Craig, after that super chat, you can say whatever you like, but do I have to agree with sending that sort of size super chat? Trusty, man of the match, second McAtee. Trusty was well on course for man of the match for me. And then, I think it was Huang that just spun him, absolutely spun him. And he ran through and it looked like Trusty were pulling his shirt back. Whether he did or not, I'm not sure, but it certainly looked that way, which were a little bit scary. Great to get 3 points. Sadly, I'm in the Hecky out camp. I'd say we were lucky with the late penalty, but a win is a win. I've only seen one replay of it, and it looks quite favourable, and I would say it was a pen from that angle. I've also seen what Johnny from Shore and Views posted, drinking those pundit tears, because it's a clip from Sky Sports where all the pundits at Sue Smith, brilliant, one of the best commentators around, honest, is watching our game. And she originally says penalty, and then she says, oh, no, it's definitely not a penalty. I'm looking at it from this angle. And all the pundits, the terrible pundits like Danny Mills and, you know, just really, really poor, all agree that it's not a penalty. And poor Gary O'Neill and all this sort of thing is going to be fuming. Nobody gives any credit to Sheffield United, but we don't need that, do we? And finally, watch match of the day. Luke, I just think it's the same, pal. I never end up watching, like, any football highlights after going to the game anymore, which I miss because obviously we all love the game. But when we lose, I'm that bad a loser. I mean, I'm a pretty terrible winner as well, but I'm such a bad loser. I can't watch anything. And you're right, pal. That's how I feel. I can watch it again. My understanding is that there was a players-only meeting instigated by Hecky and the air was cleared, according to Norwood. I didn't hear it was instigated by Hecky, Andy. And the one thing that Eki out Sal pointed out, that's my Aunt Sal, who comes to the game, who has been steadfast in her opinion on this, and fair play, 'cause I'm on board. Why does it take the players-only meeting to get a reaction out of them when it should be the manager that can get a reaction out of them? Why does it, you know, if they have had an upturn because of a players-only meeting, it's zero involvement from Eki, and is that a little bit concerning? That's just one way of looking at it, and I understand that, but it's a reasonable way of looking at it. Hey, pal, so glad Archer scored today. Seems a lifetime ago since his last goal. Everton, weren't it, when he got what was essentially a brace? But yeah, I think Cam Archer can have long periods in games where he looks quiet, and we haven't been getting him the service. And I will defend him to the hilt, as you know, because I'm loyal to the players I love. But if we give this kid service, he will score. He will score. No doubt about it. Labosh, have that says. Absolutely will. Stu says, I am 100% correct. I don't know on what bit makes it was. That was nearly 20 minutes ago when you posted this comment. So I'm going to have to speed up because I didn't want to be on long tonight. But listen, if we're basking in a win, we're basking, aren't we? Where you sat in the John Street stand today, 99% sure I saw you. We are 4 rows up from the halfway line, just over to the left. So you come 4 rows back, go left a little bit, and that's us. You may well have seen me, pal. And if you do, come and say hello. Eki would say it was always the plan, wouldn't he? Let's not pretend he isn't fighting for his job. Proves we can compete. Wolves beat City, get the momentum. Yeah, actually, that means we're better than City now then, doesn't it? Con, I think, mate. Get the momentum, Blades Europe, here we come. 9 points in next 3, says Will, and my opinion changes. What does results... What? You need to change your mind, said Jimmy. What results would change my mind in terms of Eki? I think probably picking up a point at Brighton. I would think that he should then maybe get a little bit more time because you can see it turning. But I'm just not convinced by him at all. But having said that, if the players pick up now, because I think Newcastle shot the confidence. And until then, we were okay. So if we can get back onto that level where we think, actually, we've half a chance here, then if it's an upward trajectory, then Maybe. Totally agree. George was incredible. I think that helped Bogle, who I thought had a blinder today, not as sloppy as he has been. See, that's the difference, isn't it, Kieran? Just in opinions, I thought he had times where he played really well, Bogle, today, and other times where he looked poor. Somebody else has already said he was shocking. Bruno, evening, pal. Awesome result today. Performance still not the best, but a good sign to win when not playing great. Absolutely, I agree with that. Wolfgang, top commenter. Enjoyed that. When Wolves equalised, I got that sinking feeling. Here we effing go again. Listen, the amount of groans around us, and I were one of them. Oh, my God. Then when Noah put the ball on the spot too, because he's missed a few, but that was a belter of a pen. It looked like he'd sort of got his foot under it. Not at the time, obviously, we just see it back at net. But when you look back at it, you think, oh, my word, that could have gone wrong so easily. Oh, come on, lads. Scott and Chappie. One win doesn't change Eki staying. Agree, Dan. Agree, mate. Been poor all season and scraped over the line today. I think if they had a top finisher on show, we wouldn't have been celebrating today. But a win's a win, and I'll take it. I have to say, I do think Wolves were very poor today. I expected a lot more from them. I think they had a couple of weak links, which were glaringly obvious, and they didn't show us anything at all, really. And it were our day, weren't it? It were our day. We need that McBurney Archer duo back ASAP and keep McAtee in. I think it looked all right when we started pushing McAtee and Hamer up behind Archer as like 2 10s. I thought we looked good. Once you feed him, he scores. Absolutely right. No good Norwood. I didn't think he had a great game, if I'm honest, Happy Chappy, but I have to give him his flowers about taking that penalty. Fair play. Ollie big balls. Felt happy with the performance when leaving on 93 minutes, even though it was 1-1. Oh, no. Can't believe I missed that last minute. Oh, chef lad. Oh, God. Unlucky, pal. Unlucky. Al says Robinson, awesome. I can't argue with that, to be honest. Especially when, listen, Jack Robinson, one of my biggest concerns with Jack Robinson has always been, and my dad agrees with this, in possession. As a defender, when he's out of possession and he's looking to go for the ball, he can time a tackle brilliantly. He can smash players. We love seeing that. And that's never been an issue. We've always liked that about his game. My issue with Jack Robinson is when he's in possession, I think he panics. I think he panics when he's pressed. And it usually leads to him passing backwards or passes going astray or him getting ball stuck under his feet and him flapping a little bit. But today, when he went in the middle of the three, he was bringing it out. He would, even at first half in phases, he would take it past the man. Just by dropping his shoulder, taking it. It looked full of confidence. And it's one of the best performances I've seen him play, to be honest, in the United shirt. And more I talk about it, more you could convince me he won that match, to be honest. Norwood always gives it away, says Craig, but he had the bottle to take it. Absolutely right, pal. Absolutely right. Coatsy, evening, pal. Norwood was poor for most of the game, but some Kanunu step up like he did and drill that pen. Absolutely right. Bang on. Shane Brewster went off. Thought he's looked okay during spells. Just needs a bit more match fitness. I think Thomas was the worst player for us today. He's bad enough defensively, but going forward, rubbish. You're on a downer, aren't you, now with Thomas? Wolfgang, my old pal. I know. Listen, I'm not saying that skews your opinion today or anything, but I think he did all right today, Thomas. I thought he did okay, to be honest. Thought he grew into the game really well. Massive win, says Andy. Great strike by Archer and Norwood's pressure pen. McAtee made the difference second half. Absolutely, he did. Silva was heartbroken. Admit I felt sorry for him, but wouldn't change the result. That's the Wolves lad that gave the penalty away, isn't it? Brewster looked lost, says Boss Tweed. Eki didn't look happy, though. Not watched the interview yet. Today was such a relief for me, and Robbo should be the linchpin in the middle. He is the new Monty. Always gets flack, but does his job 110%. And if Brewster has done his hamstring again, we should get rid. Uto. Oh, dearie me. We should sing it because it's how we can impose standards on the staff and players. I don't know if I missed something there, pal. At half-time, we were waiting for Wolves to put us to the sword. A change in tactics from Eki won us that game. I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced in the change. The change was forced. I'm happy to hear that side, David. What makes it even better is that I believe we beat a team who are far from a poor side. They beat City and drew the tune and probably end up comfortably mid-table. I've said that before game, Luke, and I agree. I think they are a good side. I thought they were poor today, though. We need to win the next game now. Anyone can win a game, but to go on winning runs shows better performances week in, week out. That's the only way Hecky's doubters will go away, including myself and myself. Hecky saying he'd be in prison if we didn't get that penalty. I know he said that, didn't he? I saw that quote. I haven't seen the interview yet, but apparently he said that. Second half, brilliant today. Feels like that weight's been lifted. It does, doesn't it? It's a bit of a monkey off his back, I think, Adam. You're right, pal. Hecky, Jack and Stuart McCall all the way. Come on, Blades, says Dean. Fair play, pal. Louise says, second half today is the best they've played all season. Man of the match, McAtee for me. Yeah, my dad agrees. Louise, to be honest. It's not often he was saying that you can just get a man of the match award on a second half performance alone, but he changed the game that much. Just unreal. Constant incompetence of match officials is disgusting. Yeah, to be honest, I thought it were poor. Listen, I've heard Wolves players, obviously, they don't like the penalty award, but they think they were not awarded anything at all either. So it just shows how poor he was, because we think he was useless, and so do they. So, always haters online, mate. You're doing oh, thank you, pal. Appreciate that. The lads did well not to throw it away today, even with Eki doing his best to do just that. Osborne substitution. Sorry, Eki. No compensation this week. Up the Blades. Mr. V gifting 5 Ramble memberships. Thank you, pal. I don't know how you do that or who accepts that, who picks those up. I'm not entirely sure how that works, but thank you so much for that, mate. I keep saying, oh, hang on. Sorry, John. I keep saying it's going to be okay, and I'd keep Eki. I also said a win or two would change the whole picture. Of course, it's only one win, but how different does it feel now? It feels completely different, John. And that's absolutely right, pal. It's amazing what a win does, particularly when teams around you don't pick up any points. I think it's fantastic. Hit that like button. Thank you, pal. I'd love to be able to pronounce your name. Let's go have a go at it just because of this kind comment. But Vlachodimidelli. Hit that like button. Thank you, pal. Can't wait till Robbo absolutely sends burger to Rose. Could happen. Did everybody see Tommy Doyle come over today, by the way? Full time, he comes over and he's hugging all our players. What a boy. And we kept him quiet as well. I saw a comment online that said, before today, I thought that we'd made a mistake in signing the wrong City boy and that we should have signed Doyle. Essentially, I don't think anybody thinks Doyle's a better player than McAtee, but I think a few of us think Doyle is a much better fit in our side than McAtee. And I think there's probably merit to that. But today, there's no comparison in terms of who you would rather have had in your side. Both sides would have taken James McAtee over Tommy Doyle. And we love Tommy, and I'd love to have him back at the lane. But outstanding James McAtee today. Outstanding. Mac had a super sub, says Danny. Absolutely right, it was. I haven't been able to catch you live for ages. Wanted to donate, but can never catch you live till now. Thank you, pal. It's very much appreciated. After a poor first half, I was getting back on the Hecky out bandwagon. That second half performance today is the first time in ages we've seen a rise out of the players fighting for the manager. Yeah. I'm not going to go too hard into it, but there we go. It was fight, Rifat, definitely. Brewster had a knee issue, according to Hecky. Oh, well, that's, to be honest, as daft as this sounds, that's better news than we thought. Because if it was another recurrence of the hamstring, then it's a piece of string job, isn't it, in terms of how long he's going to be out. Happy Me Golf. Go and support him if you're a fan of the golfing. That's Paul, a big supporter of the Ramble. Bemoaning Doyle playing them and being better than McAtee. Then McAtee changed the game. Yeah, just similar to what I've touched on there. Yeah, fair point, pal. My question is, which other manager comes in and changes it? They have the same players out injured and the same players playing. Listen, everybody knows my opinion on this. And you can put your own opinions down if you want in the comments, but it's not something I'm going to dwell on tonight because I don't think it's right. His first win of the season, I think fair play to Eki. You give him tonight, don't you? Absolutely. He gave the ball away, kept running into balls. Wasn't great. Passes shots running like a headless chicken. Not sure who we're on about there, pal. David Vinter shows what can happen when we press on the front foot. Second half, much more like us. Let's look forward now. All we want is fight and effort, and the noise levels rise. I thought the crowd were absolutely superb today. Absolutely superb. Brewster got a knee injury in training, says Bright. Eki said he was coming off at half time anyway. Right, okay, I understand that rhetoric now. That's fair. So why, if he's got a knee injury, and he was always going to come off at half time. Why are we playing him? Why are we risking further injury to a player who's all right? We want him back involved, but we certainly don't want him out for a longer period of time. I don't like it. I don't like playing injured players like when there's no need to take that risk. Andy says the team finally showed they cared today, Jimmy. Absolutely right. When the equaliser went in, they slumped to the floor to get the result despite everything. Credit to Eki for the second half performance as well. Yeah, I'll give you that. Absolutely. And I noticed that as well. On 85 minutes, players dropped to their knees when the equaliser went in. And you think, oh, that's it. Heads down again after everything. They've worked so hard. And they were dead on their feet. And that's another concern of mine, the fitness levels, because I think they were dead on their feet. But still, to pull it out of the bag, unreal. That front line would destroy the championship. It would. Shame we're never going to get to see it, Al, because, you know, Cam Archer's got that recall, essentially. What is a recall if we're relegated? And, you know, there's McAtee will not drop down to the championship again. Gus Hamer, from what I'm led to believe, has a release clause. But listen, we're not talking about that tonight, are we? We're back in the hunt for finishing top of this league of 4. That's all we need to do. 17th is the one. Archer up front, McAtee behind next game. Yeah, I'm all about that, Kev. I'm all about that. Even towards right-hand side, like you were today. Hamer just a little bit behind towards left. Don't mind that at all. Problems creating clear-cut chances still persist. Tactics and team selection still questionable. Eki going for a winning game would be so... Going for winning a game would be so Sheffield United. So, like, sacking him tonight, it's not going to happen, that, John, I'm sure. Certainly not in the manner it's been done. Dublin Blade. Said it on Watch Along last week with Chad and Rob. First win coming next week against Wolves. 4 points in next 2 games. Fair play, pal. I hope you're right. I'd take a point at Brighton right now. Action location. You said you thought Wolves were poor today. Maybe that's because we made them look poor. I was waiting for that. And yes, you might be right. You might be right that we made them look poor. I don't think we did. I think they were poor, but might have been something to do with us as well. 100% Eki won us that game. Look how high we started pressing in the second half. Everything he said post-match was bang on. I think he does speak very well, to be honest. A little bit dry at times, but he does speak well. Eki got us 91 points last season. Keep the faith. Listen, David, I'm not going to fight against that because I want that to be true. I might not believe it myself, but I want that to be true. So, yeah, let's keep the faith. I am keeping the faith. And listen, he keeps the seat for me, for Brighton. And if he can get a point there, then I think it's an upward swing into it. Wolves definitely missed Neto, Aldi Neto, as they're as poor as United in front of goal. Yeah, they weren't great in front of goal. Sparks of Blade's passion and determination, says Blade Runner, under a wet South Yorkshire sky. Robinson was the best player on the pitch. Great team performance with many positives. Archer's missile was the best firework of all. Yes, it was. What a strike that was. I think we got the penalty because he let them off with the previous handball decision. Yeah, I hadn't a chance to, because we were at the game. I know that were a VAR check as well, weren't it? And whether that were an actual handball, I'm not sure. I hadn't seen the highlights. So I'll be keen to see that one as well. But yeah, sometimes these things level themselves out, don't they, pal? I understand that. Great to see all the bench running to celebrate after both goals. Could see how much it meant, and they're not just here for a payday. Up the Blades. Listen, it's moments like that, innit, Matt, that brings you together, because I don't think we've looked like a team at times. I don't think we've gelled very well with all the new signings and with a couple of foreign lads as well, which isn't a regular thing for our changing room per se. So it's hard to gel them all together. But you saw today that there is a team ethic there and there is fight. And I think it's done wonders for us today. Absolutely done wonders for us. Sheffield double, yes, please. How much have we missed Baldock, by the way? He is so underrated. Absolutely so underrated. Listen, he's out of contract at end of year. And I was talking to my dad about this because he would be the first name. I mean, him and Ollie McBurney, but Baldock particularly would be the first name that I try and sign up. The only thing that makes you question it is his injury record. He's become a little bit brittle, but him and everybody else, something is happening behind the scenes with these injuries. But yeah, Baldock, absolutely outrageous player. I'd give him a 4-year deal tomorrow. 3 huge points. Enjoy it, Blades. Soak it in. You too, pal. Have a nice weekend. You as well, pal. If I caught Norwood in bed with our last tonight, I'd put some Barry White on and give him a fag when he'd finished. What a pen under that pressure up the effing blades. Absolutely right, John. I probably won't go that far to say she can hear me as well. But yeah, top man. The AFL is way better than the Prem. From the refs to the quality of football, hate this league, but it pays the money. All they care about is Arsenal, Man City, etc. We're just here to make the numbers up the blades. I agree, Danny, with a lot of that. I agree. But what I would say is, when you get a result like today, how good does it feel? How good does it feel? Because it's not expected, is it? Like in the champ, we're expecting to roll up most days, and chances are at home we were going to win last season. And, you know, it were more of a sickener when we didn't. And don't get me wrong, it's been awful this year so far. And results like today don't make any of that go away, but it feels oh so sweet to do it. We're all buzzing tonight, aren't we? And rightly so. Eki wanted Bruce to get him mins, and he trained yesterday fine, but felt it tweak. Obviously risked it, and it's not worked out. For me, that's poor management. Team selection, agreed. Why are you risking it when we've got such a lengthy injury record? We've got other players that can come in. Could have played McAtee from start. I'm not saying he'd have played as well, but I would have done. Oh, Lord, Matthew Lord, a new Rambler. Thank you, pal. Very much welcome. I don't know whether that's you taking up one of Mr. V's kind offers or whether that's off your own back, but thank you anyway. It's very much appreciated. Have you seen O'Neill's interview? Never a penny said. What planet is he on? It looked a pen from the one replay I've seen, but there are a lot saying it wasn't a pen. Listen, I'm not bothered. I'm not bothered. We deserve a rub of the green, the way things have been going for us this season. Not saying you should after today, but what will it take to admit you're wrong about Eke? Do we need to survive? Oh, Rob, if this is the same Rob, I don't think I am wrong about Eke, because if I did think I were wrong, I'd come on and say it. There's no reason for me to not be 100% truthful. I've never had a problem coming on and saying if I've changed my mind about something. I think Jack Robinson is proving me wrong. That's probably one of the first places to start. I think, you know, there's loads of things where I've been proven wrong. I didn't think we'd win today. That's another one. I still don't think Eke's the man to lead us. I don't think he's a Premier League manager, but I don't want to be down on Eke today, Rob. I'm not. It's not really for. I don't want to bash him in any way. I'm pleased for him tonight. I'm absolutely delighted for him. I want Eke to do well, because if Eke does well, we do well. So, and no, we don't need to survive, because I don't even think a new manager would ensure that we survive. I just think we need to show fight like we did today in second half. That's go down swinging if we're going to go down. We've been rolling over for the first 10 games, and it's not acceptable for this club. One please, Dubby, says Karen on the way home to Accrington. Fantastic. Pleased for you both. Kieran says, how did the ref manage to give that foul in first half when he wasn't even looking corrupt? I know. I've seen that replay. Ridiculous, isn't it? Where he's ducking out that way. Unreal. First half weak, second half different team. We need more of this, but for 90 minutes, absolutely, James. Absolutely right, pal. Still think Sousa will be the best signing for us. Can see him being a unit once he's fully fit. He's got all the tools, hasn't he? And you see it in phases with him, where he goes through little bits of like, oh, that's class, that. But he's also got a ruck in him at a minute, and I'm hoping he sort of, what's the word? Sort of gets it out of his game. However he can do that. Tony Royal, absolutely over the Eke moon. They played with heart, especially that second half. Bloody loved a lot of them. I do tonight as well, mate. Lineker apparently griping about the VAR decision for the pen. About time something went for us. Lundstrom's toenail and the ghost goal at Villa just for starters. Exactly right, Andy. Exactly right, pal. Would you have brought Billy on for the last 10 minutes today? No, I wouldn't. No, and to be fair, that's the sort of sub that you would want to make, but Billy Sharp's not up to it at this level. He weren't up to it at championship level last season, and I love Billy Sharp, but I know what you're saying, David, but not for me. How's the Football Manager save going with them blades, by the way? I haven't seen the latest video. Yeah, it's up now on Jimmy Ramble, pal. You'll have to nip over and see it if that's something you're interested in. It started well, but I've recorded a few more since then, and they ain't gone up yet, and you'll see. 1 point from safety. Are we 2 points from safety, I think? Things feel good, and we don't need 100 quid from the fans. Absolutely right, pal. Absolutely right, we don't. I nominate you as next Blades manager with Johnny from Shore and View as your assistant. The players would. I think, well, could have been out then. Love you. Thanks. I'm not sure they would. I'm not sure they would. I'm hoping Jack Robinson never finds me, if I'm honest, because I'm having to come with my cap in my hand now. Wes is getting worse with every game, says Craig. Last one from me. How do I become a member? Rambler. Love the channel. All the details are in description, pal. And thank you for your support. But it's not necessary, but it's very much appreciated. Click the join button on the left of the subscribe button. Thank you, pal. I'm going to leave it there for tonight. So thank you all for joining me. And listen, enjoy tonight. Just sit back, have a smile on your face. We deserve it. We've been through 10 rubbish games so far where, yeah, sometimes we didn't get rub at green and players haven't always been up to it. But tonight and today, they fought for the shirt. Fair play to Eki, fair play to all the players, and fair play to all of us, every one of us, whether you've been at the game, whether you've watched from afar, whether you've been absolutely mardy-as about it all and probably didn't even watch the game, but you've seen the result come on and you've had a little wry smile to yourself. We all deserve it tonight. So if you're in, watch it on Match of the Day. If you're not, record it on Match of the Day because you will enjoy that viewing tonight or tomorrow, whenever you pick it up. But for now, I ain't got my thing ready, have I? This is me being so professional. But for I'm going to do my new outro again. So for now, come on, you red and white wizards. Up the blade! Ramble on!